All right, it's just about time. That engine, transmission, and that car. So if you guys saw the last video, I went ahead and got the engine and transmission in the car. And once it was in there, I started putting the mounts on. And this is where the driver's side transmission mount goes. So there's a bracket that bolts here, and then it gets clamshelled onto that mount right there. These bolt holes are stripped out really bad. Let me get a light on. All right, maybe you can see down in there, the threads in these things, and all three of these holes are just shot. I don't know how well you're able to see down in there. But I guess whenever they put this transmission back in, they had cross-threaded these real bad. So when I pulled all this out, it just pulled all those threads out with it. So that was an issue. Plus, when we pulled this engine out, if I can find them, so this mount has this little tab right here that was broken off, so it would only handle 2 bolts anyways. And then the rear mount, if I can find where I had put it, somewhere. We can go back to the other video and look, but I went ahead and got a new rear mount that has not been broken or welded, and I have a replacement side mount bracket. So we can replace those with some good brackets. We also have, so we're gonna put the break-in oil in. We've got a filter for the first initial break-in. And then once that's done, we'll take the filter out, cut it apart, see what it looks like, drain the oil, go ahead and throw on our second filter, fill it up again with oil. And I've got all the fluids in my car. We got some spark plugs. This is the repair kit for the threads on the transmission. We've got all new bolts because the bolts were just a mismatch of just random whatever they could find. So I went ahead and got some bolts that actually fit and are appropriate for that setup. So I think I have everything I need to go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get these threads repaired with those inserts. Fix all 3 of those. We'll check the rear mount bolt holes to see if any threads are pulled in those. And we might as well just go ahead and check all of them. If anything else needs repair, we'll go ahead and do it now. And then after those are repaired, we'll get that back mount on and start getting the engine and transmission back in the car. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on the thread repair up here, and then we'll go from there. All right, just like that. I don't know why my camera wasn't recording when I did that, but new inserts are in, so we have our threads repaired. I went ahead and installed the rear mount back here with our new bolts. Everything's good there. It did not need any thread repair. It doesn't look like anything else is going to need repaired either. So we should be able to lift this thing up and start getting it in the car. So I guess I'll get to doing that by myself. And these by myself, putting the engine in is never a fun job, but you know, get some music going, we'll get that thing in there. All right, just like that, it's in. All the motor mounts are on, all the motor mounts are tight. Man, that looks so crazy. A brand new engine, nice cleaned up transmission in this rescue car. Hopefully we can get the rest of the car looking fresh like that engine. But the biggest thing is just get this thing running again so we can make sure everything else on the car works. So with all 4 mounts on and tight, the next step, I'm going to start at the back, at the downpipe and everything in the back that's hard to reach while nothing is in the way. Go ahead and get everything hooked up back there. Come around to the side, go ahead and get the cables and start doing a little bit of the harness. Just get everything hooked up here. Over here on this side, get all the accessories on, the air compressor, alternator, power steering pump, all that stuff. Then move around to the front with the dipstick tube, intake manifold, the starter, all the sensors on the front. Come in the top with some new spark plugs, coil packs, hook everything up. Intercooler piping, radiator, intercooler, all the stuff on the front. Finish the harness out, and then start topping up the fluids, and then see if we can get this thing to fire up. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. We'll see how far I can get on it tonight. But the next step, I'm gonna go ahead and get the downpipe hooked up and start working on the back, and then come around like I said. So give me just a minute and I'll come back. Change of plans right before I do all that stuff. I need to go ahead and get the axles in this thing and finish putting the brakes and the suspension and all that stuff back together. Probably go ahead and get the tires on and fill up the transmission with fluid just in case there's any issues with that. Then it's getting everything around it put on. All right, both axles in, brake suspension bolted up, downpipe bolted up, got the thermostat housing on. Cody came over to help, so he's watching Top Gear, but he did get the light on, so, you know. Yeah, he's just making sure I get it done.
Go team.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right? It was almost after I got the last motor mount bolt in that he showed up and he was like, hey, I'm gonna hang out for a little while and give you some help. Thanks, man. What you watching?
Top Gear.
Top Gear compilations. I'm over here laughing at that too. So steady working around. Gonna finish getting the coolant lines hooked up to the thermostat housing. We've got our power steering line laid where it needs to go. We've got the clutch line hooked up. Got the shifter cables hooked up. What else is there? Gonna start plugging some stuff in over here just to start working my way around. Next up is gonna be probably the air conditioner compressor, air compressor, alternator, power steering pump, get all those on, get that line hooked up, get the belt on, and then we can start working on the front of this thing, get it all wrapped up. So steady working, slow progress, but we're getting there. We might be able to crank this thing up tonight, Cody.
That'd be pretty cool.
I say we might be able to get this thing cranked up tonight.
I'll turn the key.
There you go. Another small update. We've got all the accessories on. The belt is on. So we're starting to hook up all this stuff. We've got the starter on, dipstick tube in. I'm trying to think. So I'm going to start bringing that wiring harness around, hook up the starter, the sensors on the front of the block, alternator, a couple things here, and then we can get that intake manifold on. And then that brand new engine is going to be covered up. It's a shame. It's so pretty. All right, it's the next morning. I kept going till like 2 in the morning, and that's how far I got. So basically the whole front end of the car is together, the engine is all together. The last few things, we got the filter to put on, the battery to put in, the crash bar along with the intercooler, and finish the intercooler piping and hook up the vacuum line to the blow-off valve. And I think that's it as far as what we need to crank it. Then it's just fluids, obviously. It was like 2 in the morning when I quit last night, and I didn't want to end up cranking it at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. So I decided to just go ahead and go in, clean up, come back tomorrow morning. Here we are. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this crash bar on, get the intercooler finished out, and start putting some fluids in this thing, and hopefully we can crank this thing today. All right, all the fluids are in, topped off. We did have a minor coolant leak. Thermostat housing, O-ring on the water tube. Pulled that off, replaced it, fixed it up, no issues. So we've got power steering fluid, brake and clutch fluid. Clutch has been bled, brakes are bled. Transmission fluid is in, oil is in, coolant is in. Should have every fluid we need.
Battery is in.
Cody got the battery in. We've got a borrowed battery to see if this thing will start. Nothing exploded immediately, so it's a decent sign. We got power in the car. Okay, I'm a little scared now.
Fire it up.
I wasn't scared until now. Do me a favor, hop in. You know, the key is sitting right there on the dash above the radio. This is what I want you to do. Prime the fuel pump. So just turn it to on. I want you to push the clutch and the gas all the way to the floor. And what that should do is just turn the engine over without firing it. If it does fire up, let off immediately so it doesn't rev to 8,000 RPM. Well, that's a good sign. Okay, do it again. All right, prime the fuel pump one more time. So take the key out for just a second. Take it out for just a second.
Huh?
Take the key out for just a second. Wait. Now put it in and turn it on. There you go. All right, see if she'll start.
You ready?
Yep. Ooh. She's wanting to. Golly, something over here is making ruckus. Think we're out of gas?
Yeah, I think we're out of gas.
Dang, we might be out of gas. You hear that noise? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go get some gas.
All right, then.
All right, round 2.
Ready?
Yep. Did you shut it off?
No.
Hang on.
That ain't dang, you ain't got no alternator.
Well, it was idling a little bit.
Yeah, a little rough, but
There was some kind of noise down here where the air compressor is, so I took the belt off. The noise went away. Then it was idling fine, but of course we had no alternator or water pump. So it eventually ended up dying because this is a tiny little battery.
yeah, you beat that.
A little bitty thing. We'll need to get a battery in this thing. But it did idle. There was no oil light on, so I believe we're good on oil pressure there. We're gonna mess with a few things and see if we can get it worked out. Well, she's running, so that's good. There are a few things to check out. One of the accessories, I think it's the air compressor, is making a ruckus. I think I've got a spare one laying around here. I might try to swap it out and see what it sounds like. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this video. There's still a lot of work to do. But a big box checked off the list. So with the car running, I'm gonna end it off here and do a little more work and see if we can go drive it in this thing soon. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.